Okay. So okay. So we have the two machines are there for our data guard installation. One is at 10.17.57.161 and the other one is at 10.17.57.163. Okay. So the first thing what we are going to do is that we are trying to do a ping between the two machines. 10.17.57.1 63. We are able to ping to the machine. Okay. And also I have already created a database for our source or primary database. I have created the database, but I have not configured anything. So this one, we can see that there is a database called why should this run. Now, let me switch to Oracle user, set up my environment variables. Okay. Now, let me connect it to the database and verify. First thing, what we have to verify that whether the database is in the arclog mode. So let me first check that one. Okay. So first thing is the archive log list. The database is in arclog mode. The current sequence number is 2, and the archiving is going to the flashback area. So let's see our flashback area. Show parameter recover. So the flashback is the arclog files are going to whitesheet/flash recovery area. Now next thing is that we need to know or we need to enable force logging on the database. So select force underscore logging from $database. Force logging is not enabled. So let's do one thing, alter database force logging. The force logging is enabled on the database. Select force logging from $database. Fine. So archiving is enabled, force logging is done. Now the next one is that we have to verify that whether we are using a password file. So we can check within two things. Select star from $pw file underscore users.
I get a PW, underscore file.
Select star from $pw file underscore users.
Yeah, Vimal, there is no underscore between PW and file.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Underscore users. Okay, so it's using the password file. Again, we can just confirm once again by going to our Oracle home/dbase directory. We have Aura PW Vaishit. Fine. Now, this is the password file which we will be using for our conversion of single instance. For the standby, we will be copying this password file and renaming it. Now, let's change the data guard related changes. Before that, one more small changes we have to do that. We have to make sure that there is sufficient, there is enough tnsnames.or is there, and also we have to make sure that our listener is up and running. So let's exit. I'll exit from here also. LSNR status. Listener is down, so let me start the listener. I have listener up and running. Now I need to verify whether I have a proper TNS entry for my primary database. So ping, sorry, TNS ping Vaishit. It's not able to resolve the name. So what I will do that I'll just start net manager. I'm sorry. And one more thing, to get the graphical user interface on when you're doing the GUI or when you're doing the NX client, what we need is that we need to log on to the user directly. For example, when we are planning to do the installation or configuration using Oracle, from the gateway machine, in the NX client I'm specifying, from the gateway machine, you have to use the SSH-X and login. Oracle.
If we connect back to Putty, we need to give this command.
No, from Putty you will not be able to get the GUI.
Okay, so for
if
that,
you want the GUI,
yeah, we can use the Xseed as well.
Xseed you can utilize. That's not a problem. But the thing is that Xseed will slow down because it's coming through a low network. So that's the reason when you're using the NX client, the NX client got the functionality to even provide the GUI, an efficient GUI, even if your internet speed is less. So a better option will be that you use the NX client than using the Xseed or Xmanager or any kind of software. But in case if you are planning to do it from your own laptop and your own virtual machines, you can use Xseed or NX or Xmanager. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me use Net Manager. Expand the local tab. Listeners. There is, I have now the listener, whatever we are having is a default listener, so that should not be a problem. Just click on the service naming plus the tab, and I'll create next TCP protocol hostname 10.17.57.61 service name Vaishit test. Okay, we got the error that it is Scott and Tiger is not connecting because the account is locked. That's fine. Anyway, we are able to connect to that. That is an indication that we are able to connect to the database. So that should be fine. Let's finish it and save it. Okay. Now we need to have one more TNS entry that is pointing to our the stand-based server. So just click on here, and we'll just call this as a stand. Next TCP protocol hostname will be 10.17.57.63 1521. Service name we'll just call a stand. Finish it. We cannot test anyway. We cannot test it for the time being. File, save, and exit. Okay. Now let's connect to the database and see whether we have the appropriate values are there. sysdba. So first thing, show parameter db underscore name. It is Vaishit. Show parameter db underscore unique underscore name. That is again correct value. Now show parameter log underscore archive underscore config. There is no value for that one. So we'll give the command alter system set log underscore archive underscore config equal to
DG underscore config.
DG underscore config. I think we need to give the DG underscore config equal to, yeah, continue.
Primary database name and standby database name. Service basically.
Yeah. It is primary, and remember it is a DB unique name of the primary database as well as the standby database. And Oracle 11G mandates that we need to have the different primary, or we have to have the unique primary name for both our primary and the standby. Scope equal to both.
Parameter we are using just because of we want to tell the environment that these sort of databases are under this configuration.
That's correct. We are going to tell that these are the two databases, or these are the databases involved in the data guard configuration, and this is an additional check actually. And when you are setting the DB Unix name for your log underscore RQ underscore destinations, at that time Oracle is going to cross verify that whether these databases are the DB Unix name, whatever you are switching, is a part of the data guard configuration. So why this is that we are making sure that we are not accidentally overwriting any of the log files.
Okay.
Sir, clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the next one is that we have to set up our log underscore archive underscore configure destinations. So show parameter log underscore archive underscore dest underscore one.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, Udit.
Yeah, if there are more than one standby databases, then
you can put the comma separated values. Okay. Alter system set log underscore archive underscore dest underscore one equal to location equal to slash Vaishit slash Aura data. Okay, this is a or else what I can do that we can just give arc destination. Let me connect one more this one.
We can use the use DB recovery file dest that.
Yeah, you can use the use that one also. Otherwise, if you wanted to change it, you can change it. Otherwise, if you are not changing, what happens is that if you are using archive log underscore archive destination any of the values, and if you are not specified the location keyword, then it is going to create in the same in the flashback area. So we can use any of these values. Okay. I'll just give arc just for a consistency. Okay. Now valid underscore 4 equal to bracket open all underscore log files comma all underscore roles. DB underscore unique underscore name equal to Vaishit. Scope equal to both. Any questions here?
Yeah, Vimal, one question. This is the location, this is the local location for the archiving.
Correct.
Yeah, and the name of this all underscore log file is that that I want to know. That's it.
This was we discussed in the previous class also.
Yeah.
All underscore log file stands for it is valid for all type of log files. That means now the database running on the primary mode. On the primary mode, database called online redo log files. Okay, so the files which are getting archived is the online log files. So this destination holds the destination for the local archiving. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Now let's think about this database is coming to a physical standby database after a switchover. So at that time we don't have a online redo log file. Physical standby doesn't have an online redo file, but it have the standby redo log files. So once the standby redo log files filled up, it has to do a log switch. Okay. So where it will be using? Since we have given the all log files and all role files, the same destination will be used for the flushing out the standby log files as well. Is that clear?
No.
Okay. Now tell me one thing. How will be specifying that the destination for our standby? Suppose this database is coming to a standby mode. So how will be specifying the location for the standby log files? I mean, not for the path of the standby log file, the archive location of the standby log files. Here, we are specifying that all underscore log files. So all underscore log files means it can be used for the online redo log files as well as the standby redo log files. Plus, it can be used when the database is running on the primary role or else the database is running on the standby role.
Got it. Like whenever we are going to do the switchover at that point in time, this will become the destination for the logs that are coming from the new primary database.
Yeah, the new primary. Now assume that this is a logical standby database. So logical standby database got its own redo log files.
Yeah.
Correct. And also it got the redo log files. It got the standby redo log files, which will be flushed from the or which is received from the primary database. Correct. So this location will be used for the online redo log files of the physical logical standby database as well as the standby redo log files of the logical standby database. Both will be both type of files when it's archiving, it will be getting created over there. But if you don't want the this is a location for the online redo log files, at that time what you can do that alter system log underscore arc destination equal to log arc valid for what type of log? This standby underscore log file, comma standby underscore role. So this location will be used only for the standby log files when it is running on the standby role. No other files will be not for any other roles. That's clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So for you also it's clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's put our log underscore arc destination to alter system. Set log underscore archive underscore dest underscore 2 equal to service equal to stand, because this is our TNS entry what we created now. Then valid underscore 4 equal to online log file, comma primary underscore role db underscore unique underscore name equal to stand, scope equal to both. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we will defer the standby arc destination for the time being. The reason is that we want to make sure that there is no log switch will be taking place until we finish up our configuration. So alter system. We'll see what is the status now. Show parameter log underscore archive underscore dest underscore state underscore 2. Okay, it's enabled. So we'll do that. We'll for the time being we'll defer it. Alter system set log underscore archive underscore dest underscore state 2 equal to so fine. Fine. The next parameter that we wanted to do is that we had to make sure that the FIL underscore server and FIL underscore client is set for on our database. So this is only required to make sure that we have a smooth role transition once we are once you're doing a switchover. So show parameter FIL. We have both our FIL server and FIL client is empty. So alter system.
Hello.
Set. Hello.
Vimal, I have one question. I remember
please
when
go
you said that the forced logging should be on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, in the books or in the material, what I've read is considering the fact that the normal operations are in progress. In that case, we'd have to wait until all the operations complete.
Yes, the force logging need not we need not wait for all the transactions to be completed. Force logging can be enabled on the database at any point of time, but the question is that if we are enabling force logging, it's better to have less transaction on the database. So that's the only point. It's not mandatory that we should be waiting or we should be bringing all the user connections to the database exited and then you need not enable the force logging. It's not mandatory, but better to have on a production system whenever the less connections are there.
Okay, but then given the fact you are already executing a batch, okay, in that case, if I now make this statement wherein I enable a force logging, so would that be applicable after the batch is completed or like how?
Yes, yeah. That activity will be valid only for the new transaction, not for the existing transaction that's already continued.
Okay, because in the dataguard material, what Oracle has given, they say normally when you are in the mount mode, simultaneously it's better if you activate both the archive log mode and then you enable the force logging.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm telling. It's better to do that at stage because you are making sure here. Here the thing is that there is always a risk of you are having some, like as I said, these transactions. If a huge number of transactions are there, then naturally that process will slow down. But think about the situation. You wanted to set up a data guard, and which client is going to give you the downtime for setting up a data guard? Primary production shutdown for setting up the data guard. No clients. Most of the clients will not be doing. So that are theoretically important, but not practically that much possible. So what I would suggest is that you can enable force logging, but maybe on a less business hours.
Okay.
In most of the organizations, it doesn't require all that thing because the reason is that you enable force logging, you enable all this, then only you are going with a backup, right? So when you are taking the backup, you are already having all the transactions that is generated on the. You have all the changes into the data file, so it should not be a problem. And once the DR is set up, then only this force logging got an impact. Or got an impact in with respect to data card. So that doesn't make much difference.
Okay.
Alter system set FIL underscore server. I'm sorry. Server will be that times primary database, which is our stand. This is clear, right?
Yeah.
Set FIL underscore client equal to voice scope equal to fine, and we need to check once again show parameter. We have a service version. Now, what any and now we need to check remote login show parameter remote login password file is exclusive, and show parameter. We have the standby underscore file management is equal to manual for the time being. We have to make it auto. Fine.
Yeah.
Would we not
Okay. Now,
DB file and convert, log file and convert?
yeah, that's another point. Show parameter meter file convert parameter. We have to set the DB file name convert and log file name convert. So alter system set DB underscore file underscore name underscore convert equal to. Now we have to give it in pair. So now we have to think about a situation like what will be our standby destination, because this database now this parameter got significance only on the standby role. So what is the current primary's name? That from that point we have to discuss. So let's connect to our database first. INV. Select name from $data file. Okay, so we have a naming convention Vaishit slash or data Vaishit, right? So what we need to change is that we need to change this string and put it with the Vaishit slash or data slash stand. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How about Sanjeev and Sudhir? Slash Aura data slash Vaishit. Sorry, it will be stand. Slash Is that clear? This parameter don't have the significance for the time being, but once it is coming to the standby role, this parameter got significance. So the same thing we will be applying for our log file name convert as well. Fine. I think with this setups, we have almost done with our primary database setup. Now the pending task will be that we need to create the standby read log files on the primary. So can somebody tell me, help me with the syntax?
Standby. We do.
Okay.
Member. Path.
Okay. So we'll create the standby log files on the same location of the our primary read log files. Select member from read log file. Okay. So
size.
Okay, here the important point to be noticed that the size of the standby log file should be the same size of the log file, and we should be having one digit extra than that of the one number extra than that of the log files for each thread. So our primary log file size is 50 MB. I'm sorry.
Hello. It's a database. It's altered database. Altered database.
Alter database add standby log file, right?
Yeah.
Alter database add standby log file
Member.
group. Guys, please tell me the syntax correctly.
Yeah, alter database add standby
group. Log file group. Okay.
Group number.
Okay, we'll give the group number 4. Then
After that, everything what you have mentioned.
okay, fine. Let's try. Fine. Okay, like that. So how many log files are there for us? 3 log files are there. So we need to have the 4 standard log files.
I think you have to change the file name as.
Yeah. I'm changing. Okay. Now, how will we confirm that the enough standby log files are created? What's the
standby underscore log file.
Select star from b dollar standby underscore.
Normally select is not written correctly.
Yeah. Star from b dollar standby underscore log. Log or log file? Okay, but this is not giving you the member details, right? I mean, we are not able to get the member details. So how we'll be knowing that the path of our, as for example, you logged into the server to find out the path of your standby log files. How we'll be finding it out?
You have to write a query v dollar log file where type equals to standby.
Correct. Yeah. Select member from v dollar log file where type equal to standby. Is that clear for everyone?
Yeah, Vimal.
Okay. Now the next step is that we need to create a parameter file from this SP file. Only the thing is that it will be easier for us to make that changes on the it will be easier for us to make the changes related to standby database and modify it on our standby instance. So create p file equal to /temp/init stand.ora from SP file. Now what is the next step?
Copy the this file as well as the password file onto the standby server.
Okay. It's better to take the backup also
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah,
stage,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So rman connect target backup database plus arclog. Backup is completed. Now the next is that we have to create the or backup the current control file as standby. Now we are good to copy all the files under the flashback area, that is /whitesheets/flash recovery area. We can copy the entire folder, the complete folder, and SCP this. Now we will be SCPing all this information. That is the backup set, the SP file, the P file what we copied, and also we copy the tnsnames.ora, and also we'll copy the password file. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me connect it to the second machine and make a directory so that we will be able to copy it. You mean to say that this much?
Yeah, this much is sufficient. And yeah,
Let's try.
and remove the backward slash. Yeah, that remove the slash from slash recovery area. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, this much.
Yeah. Now it will create all the subdirectories inside the YSheet folder.
Okay.
You need to have a stand.
But yeah, it's created. It's working. Fine. So backup sets are copied. Now what we need to do that we need to copy the SAP/temp/init Oracle at the rate 10.17.57.63/Varshit db home db. So I'll just copy to the db directory so that it will be easy for us to modify. Okay. Now what we need is that SAP/temp/Varshit/db home/Ora. Okay, now the remaining thing is that we need to copy our tnsnames.over as well. Okay, so we have copied all the files required to the standby. Now what we need is that we need to, on the standby, we need to make an entry for this particular instance on the RATAP file and try to bring up the instance. So vi/etc/ORATAP. This is correct, right? Okay. Now cd $oracle_home/dbs vi int. Okay, let's modify this entry. So what I normally do is that I just replace the primary database name with the standby database name. Command $substitute slash. Okay, now once we made this global refreshment, there are some adjustments are required. One is at DB name. It should be our primary database name itself. Okay, anything we are missing here? Yeah, here one more thing. There should be DB nickname. Okay, and this should be it should be okay. I think we have made enough changes. Now let's save this and let me create all the directories required. mkdir minus p audit. Okay, I think now we should be able to start up our instance. Let's try to bring it up. Okay, before that, one more thing needs to be done. LS-LTR. Yeah. CP. Okay. Now SQL plus /s sysdba. Okay, good. The instance is mounted. Okay. So next step is that we have to make sure that from the primary we are able to log into the standby with the sysdba privilege, as well as from the standby we are able to connect to vice versa. Right.
Can you also confirm the DB name and the unique name?
Okay. Show parameter DB underscore name. Okay, that's fine. Show parameter DB underscore unique underscore name.
Yeah.
DB unique name should be standard. Okay. So what we'll do that? We'll create a SP file from pfile. Then shut down. Okay. Just 1 second.
SP5. Missing IA out here.
Okay. Now we have created our directory structure, and we have brought our database on no-mount stage parameter. Okay. DB unique show parameter service. Okay. Now let's see whether the listener started up. Otherwise, let's bring up the listener. LSNRCTL start. Okay. The listener is up. Now what we need then? We need to SQL plus sys/oracle @whitesheet as sysdba. Okay. So that means our TNS entry and the password combination for the primary database is fine.
Okay.
Now from the primary database, let's see whether we are able to connect to a standby database. SQL plus sys/oracle @stand as sysdba. Now we are getting an error message that listener, all appropriate instances are blocking new connections. This is because the standby database is still in the no-mount stage. So the best option will be that once we, there are multiple ways of handling. One is that bring up the standby database in the mount stage. Since that is not possible for the time being since we don't have the control file. Otherwise, we can make a change on the tnsnames.org file and recover it. Right. Now we confirmed that we are able to connect it to the standby database using the password file. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Uday.
My question is that you have used UR is equal to A, okay?
Yeah.
One more technique that we can have a static listener registration. Will that?
That's also
Yeah.
That's also correct.
This
We can have a static listener register,
yeah.
or else we need to have the standby control file. Once say this issue will not be a big problem because we are going to recover the do the cloning from our standby instance. So for the standby instance, we are going to connect using the auxiliary instance as the OS authentication. So should not be creating a problem. But if you wanted to do just wanted to make a quick test that our password file is working.
Yeah, actually this UR is equal to A sometimes doesn't work. Is there any specific reason for that?
Do you remember any? Is there any situation where it worked? Because whenever I tried, it was working.
It is from 10G, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Probably, did you try on the previous versions?
I tried on 11G and 10G. It doesn't work. It gives the same error. All the instances are blocking this new connection. Then we have to go to static registration actually.
Okay, but whenever this issue is there, if you are getting the URL equal to, if you are modifying the tnsnames.org with the URL equal to A, it will be working for both the 10G as well as 11G.
Okay. Any full form for UR?
No idea on that one.
Share what was the question because I could not hear anything from you.
No, what he is asking is that first question was that he is asking that is there any specific situations this UR-A, because UR equal to A is a workaround given by Oracle on one of the Metalink documents.
Right.
So one of the methods is that there are two methods of resolving. Is that one is that not two, there are three methods. One is that you are using the what is that is static listener. Here we are not using the static listener, we are using the dynamic listener. So with the net manager, if you have created a listener and we have added this database to the listener, then this issue would not have happened. Or else remember, like, and that is mandatory. Whenever you are coming up with the data guard broker, we need to have the static listener enabled there. Other options that you give the UR equal to A. The third option is that which will not be applicable right now, but once our standby database is being configured, once the standby database in the mount state, this issue is not going to happen.
Again, what
But
I
his
did
question
earlier
was
was because I never knew the two solutions which you provided, right? The UR equal to A and connect on the standby front using the auxiliary using the OS authentication. So I did know that. So what I had to do via forums, I had to create a database and drop it, and then the problem got solved. But that's like for a simple solution, I had to do like tons of work.
No, that was the easy method. Let me. I think in the data guard documentation, I mean, in the PPT, I think I have mentioned the SR number. If not, let me give you the SR number. And that one is this issue is being already mentioned, and this is the two easily usable workarounds.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so duplicate target database for Darpan, tell me.
In 11G R2, you are using a keyword called device. Is it that 10G does not have this keyword?
10G also have this keyword.
Because in the slides, there are like two syntaxes which you have mentioned, it seems, or what have you?
Okay.
Is device mandatory you use?
No, device is not mandatory. In 11G, it is not mandatory.
Okay.
I'm just following the 10G's syntax only. In fact, 11G, there is something else you can also try that without taking a backup. Since we have taken the backup, we don't know how to take a backup. We can use the active database feature.
Yeah. But that is actually not advisable in real time because
it's not advisable in the real time. That's the reason I did not give much.
The primary would be that loaded, and even the.
Yeah, here let me explain how we are doing. In our situation, what happens is that we have the every day, night full backups are there. we
Okay.
just use that full backup, and that full backup, so once it is there, when we want, we'll just tell the system administrator, they will load the backups to our standby server, which is much faster than the SCP command which we are using. So theoretical and the practical implementation is slightly different.
Okay, so you would
Okay, so
then restore the night
yeah, go ahead.
backup and then apply archives, right?
Apply archive files. So anyway, we are going to do the backups, or else, as I explained in one of the classes, whenever we are having a gap, that there are different ways of solving. One is that you use a incremental backup and restore from the primary. Otherwise is that if this database is quite small, and don't you take a full backup and restore it and resolve. So we normally take the we have almost every database we have a nightly full backup with them, and whenever we wanted to do the build the standby database, we'll make sure that we are commenting our archelog backups on the primary, so that we are sure that we will be having all the archelog files from the backup onwards.
Yeah, because in our organization too, usually what they do is, when there is an archive log gap, or the it's out of sync, what they do is, they find out the latest SCN on standby, back it up using RMAN from that SCN, and then restore it using catalog.
That is a incremental level backup.
Yeah.
Recovering the gap using incremental level backup. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have allocated 2 channels. One channel is for the device type disk for the local, reading from the backup, and one is for the auxiliary instance. And then duplicate target database for standby. No file name check. It is not mandatory. Do recover. Fine. The restoration is completed. Now what we can do is that we can exit, connect to our database. Yeah, go ahead.
And you use the do recover clause.
Yeah, do recover clause I use only because we have taken the backup using the plus archelog files. So let Oracle apply all the archelog files which is part of the backup. That's the only thing. Is that clear?
Fine, and it will not apply the archives.
No, now it is just, you can see that one, right? It will complete the media recovery. Now we have to start up the our MRP process. That's what I'm going to do now.
Yeah, actually, my question is that if we don't use the do recover clause.
Yes, it will not apply the archelog files. Yes. But this syntax, right? That common point, right? The syntax, whatever you are using for the cloning as well as the standby database is same.
Yeah,
so that's the reason that we tended to use the no file name check do recover. So the do recover is not mandatory, but only thing is in the standby it is not mandatory. Anyway, MRP once you are starting, it's going to do the recovery.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question.
Yeah. Sys DBA select database underscore role from $database. It's a physical standby database. Now your alter database, recover, managed standby database, disconnect. Okay, we'll do check one thing, whether our MRP is up. EF grep MRP. We have the MRP up and running. Just have a quick look on the alert log file for any other errors.
Hello?
Yeah.
Since we have not used buy session or form session, the recovery would be in the foreground, right?
No, the reason why I use the disconnect command is that I just wanted to show you the difference between the 10G and 11G. In 10G, we need to use the disconnect from session.
Okay.
Okay, but if you're just giving the alter database record manage standby database and semicolon, it will run as a foreground session. If you wanted to run as a background session, you should be using the disconnect from session. But Oracle 11G disconnect from session. I mean, when you're using the disconnect from session is default there. You don't have to issue that.
Okay.
But our background, that's the reason I just exit and tried. We can do one thing. We can just I exited from the SQL prompt session. Let's see whether MRP is running there. MRP is running. Fine.
Okay.
So that is run as a background session. Right. When it's running as a foreground session, you will not be getting that prompt back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tail -f alert log. After completing the media recovery, there is no other errors. So we are looks like, and it says that media recovery is waiting for the thread sequence number 5, which belongs to the thread number 1. Now, from the primary database, let's connect to the database. And we remember we have deferred our primary log archive destination true. So alter system set log underscore archive underscore dest underscore state underscore 2 equal to enable. Scope equal to. Okay. Now alter system switch log file. You can see that the archive has reached the standby database and it has applied. And now it is waiting for the sequence number 7, which is in the transit stage.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
And now we can exit from there, connect to the database, and select thread hash, comma, maximum sequence from $, archived underscore log, where applied equal to yes, group by thread hash. Fine. And on the primary, we can just give the command archive log list. So the current sequence number is 6. I mean, current sequence, the last target sequence number is 6, and the current sequence number is 7. So our primary and the standby is in sync. Now, any other changes to be done?
We have to add standby redo logs on the.
Yeah, we need to add the standby redo log files on the standby, and then we can do with the or we can enable the real-time apply.
No, but then since
Okay.
we had it in
So what are the
primary, wouldn't the even the standby log files be created?
okay? Let's check that one.
You have to drop and recreate those groups actually.
Yeah, we need to drop and recreate it. It's just an entry on the control file only. Select member from $log file. CD. It looks like the standby log files are available.
Actually,
They're there, right?
Is there?
then we
So what?
test it by actually starting the real-time apply then.
Yeah. Alter database, recover, managed, standby. Okay. Now we'll start the recover, alter database, recover, managed, standby database. What is the syntax for real-time apply?
Using current log file.
Disconnect.
Using current log file.
Okay, using current log file.
Current log file,
Disconnect.
space, disconnect. Fine. So now our current standby database is running on the using the real-time apply. On what is the protection mode what we are having now?
Max.
It will be select, yeah, protection underscore mode from the dollar database. I'm sorry, spelling mistake. Is that fine? Okay. Now the next step, what we steps, what we will be doing that we will be. I think I'm sure, pretty sure that you are already familiar with these steps. So next steps, what we will be doing that we will be doing a switchover between the primary and the standby. We'll change the role of the primary and the standby and see how that's work.